Hello, all you bowling and boxing fans out there tonight. We are here live for a 30-minute live podcast as I actually have to introduce everyone. For the last few weeks right now has been a really tough time right now, and there's been good, there's been bad, and there's been worse. But it's not bad. When you talk about competition, guys, there's competition all over, and I can't wait to talk about it. There's going to be a few segments I'm going to talk about today. If you viewers don't mind, I'll be talking about bowling. I'll be talking about an MMA fighter and a boxing thing, which is something I'm going to regret talking about. But today, guys, this is the first time for Fox Talk. Welcome back to my next podcast. This is going to be one hell of a ride. That's all I'm going to say right now. And the first topic I would like to point out is the PBA World Series of Bowling Shark Tournament of Champion. And I had to pay $1 to bet if my bowler was going to win. Spoiler alert, did it. EJ Tackett, number 2 seed, defeats Anthony Simonson. First time he defeats him on television. He bowled a heck of a great game in that match, only to barely not bowl a good game in the final, but he did because he had to take on a rematch fighter that he hasn't fought against since the DHC Japan Cup in 2017, the final, Shota Kawasoe, a 21-time PBA Japan Champion Cup winner. And Tackett defeated him 228 to 213. I felt bad because Shota deserved better. He should have deserved it. He had what it take. It looked like he had a chance of winning. I felt bad that he didn't get a strike in the second frame, and the right lane was giving him problem. He was throwing Brooklyn strikes. At least he was hitting the pocket of every one pin. He had to be timed out by one person telling him, and it was so bad. And EJ, he was getting the corner pocket. The only bad luck he was getting was 10 pins, which was the only thing keeping Shota alive. Like, watching the 2017 DHC Cup was different from how that went on because of how the score went on for Shota and Tackett went on. Like, the scores were somewhat particularly almost the same. I think Shota scored a 215 in that first match, and this, like, a guy scoring 2 televised 300 games in one day in 2010 live in Japan at the time of how he won, settles to this 14 years later. I just found it hard to believe. Like, I'll be honest, though, at least Shota struck out in the 10th frame. He got 2 strikes. He got 9. It should have been. At least he shot at least he got every spare. He didn't miss every spare. I think a split would have cost one of these guys a chance to lose. And if he actually got a strike in the final shot in the 10th, all Tackett had to do was get 1 strike and 6 pins. But he had to get 1 strike and 5 pins because of that 9 shot. And if Tackett got a 9 spared, he would still have a chance to strike to go to a roll-off. Or maybe to a tie. I think it was a roll-off. Who knows? 1 strike, 5 pins, all Tackett had to do. And, you know, I'll give credit. Tackett had to do what he had to do. If he didn't get that strike in the 10th frame, then what else would have mattered? And even though Tackett, like, seeing him win the title, it just it was hard. And guys, I just feel bad because I'm looking back at this, I'm thinking, why can a Japanese person actually come forward in PBA to win a title or even battle hard? I just feel bad, guys. And I think the reason for that is I just don't think Japanese or Chinese people or even Philippines, Thailands, Korean people, Indonesian people don't have a chance to compete against big Western people like ourselves because we're scared of being monsters. That's what they are. Like, they're scared of us. Like, guys, when you watch the tournaments from 1989 to 2006 Japan Cup and you see American dominating every single year, winning title after title until Mika Koibuyemi broke that record 2007 won, it just goes to show you that American people scare Asian people. Like, Asian people aren't big. And no offense to Asian people if they're watching this, but I do mean it. It's like, I feel like Asian people don't know much about the outside world of us Americans. We know them, but how much do they know about us Westerns? Are we big? Are we mean? Are we real scare people? Are we nice? And about Japanese, you can think from a minute, is there reasons why it's hard for them to compete at that level? Was it hard for Shota to score 2 televised 300 games in Japan in 2010? Is it that hard to go from that to this? At the end of the day, I just don't know. And like, guys, if you go to subway trains in Japan and you see these little tiny seats that are this tiny, and us foreign people like in America and Canadian people like myself, we have big bodies, so we can barely fit in a seat and such. And you have people backing away because in Japan and other countries, they have tiny seats because there's not a lot of big people there. So I just think when you look at that and understanding the body languages of it, just made sense why there's not a lot of Asians competing as hard and big in America, because we've learned the sport a lot longer than they did. And even though there's talent in Japan, I just don't think they can handle the mental and the physical taking on American people like us. And I think that's why EJ won that match. And I'm upset talking about this because I don't want to be mean to them, but I do want to push their luck. Like, guys, I'm not trying to be mean to them, but I am trying to push their luck. Just so if next time, if something like this happens again, I'll regret what I said, and then they'll say, and I'll apologize to them saying, well, I'm sorry, I guess you won a title, and that's good. And I just feel like there should have been more to this. And if Tackett did miss a 9-pin or got a split or something around the time, then competition would have been a lot different. And now people to this day are saying we'll never have a Japanese bowler to win a PBA title in America. We'll never have this. We'll never have that. It's just a Cinderella thing that will never come. And that does upset me to talk about. And there's nothing much I can say about that. It is what it is. But I'm going to talk about some other subject right now.